Drip icon. We are sir. We are one family, despite the cultural diversity. We strive for the unity, we love we stand for all humanity. So we are the IOM, Los Angeles, our CEO. A woman with a golden heart, true connection of God's love. IOM, I know Nigeria. Say no to nepotism. We share all life partners, brothers and sisters together we stand. IOM, I know Nigeria. We say no to nepotism. We share all life partners, brothers and sisters united we stand. We are the IOM. One love. We are the IOM. One love. We are the IOM. Cause break. We are the IOM. Always my mind and my destiny is my name. My control. Always my mind and my destiny is my name. We are educating and innovating. All of our programs carry all that you need. Be it social and economic wise, and when you join, you're gonna see all your ahead. Yeah, the impact is evidence. Builders of peace, not violence. IOM regeneration, painting the image of being a better nation. Yeah, educating and innovating. All of our programs carry all that you need. Be it social and economic wise, and when you join, you're gonna see all your ahead. Yeah, the impact is evidence. Builders of peace, not violence. IOM regeneration, painting the image of being a better nation. We are the IOM. We are the IOM. We are the IOM. IOM to the world. We are the IOM. We are the IOM. IOM to the world. Always from my and my destiny is my hand, my control. Always from my and my destiny is my
Wow. Yes, in a Mind Talk show, always in my mind, and my destiny is in my hands. Yes. Wow. Zitis, good evening, everyone. Khadija say welcome each and everyone to IOM members to tonight's talk show. Thanks a lot for all that you do for IOM. Please don't forget to share on all your social media handles. I love you a lot, and we love you all. Thank you, Khadija. We have Musrayat Mohammed. You look good, ma. Thank you, Musrayat. So I will go straight into the business of today. I want to start by asking family members. Family members, tonight's topic is going to be very engaging. Farms, do you know, farms, that 1 in every 5 children out of school is a Nigerian? Can you hear me, family members? I want to repeat myself. Can you hear me? Farms, I want you to tell me whether you can hear me. Do you know, family members, that 1 in every 5 children out of school in the whole wide world is a Nigerian, according to UNESCO? Do you know that about 20 million dropouts globally is a Nigerian or are Nigerians? You see, farms, I don't know if you have heard this saying. Have you heard this saying that the robots are coming? The robots are coming. You know, people are thinking and are very scared that the robots are now coming to take over their jobs. Fam, do you know that by 2030, fams, do you know that by 2030, just less than, we are in 2025, isn't it? So in 2030, AI, artificial intelligence, is expected to transform education for over billions of learners. I repeat, by 2030, just less than 5 years from today, AI, which is artificial intelligence, is expected to transform education for billions of learners. What does that mean? The robots are not just coming, but the robots are here. The robots are here. The robots are here. The question now, family, the question now is, how will we teachers fit in? How will teachers fit into the AI, artificial intelligence world? All right. On that note, I want to say good evening, family members. Good evening and welcome to IOM Sunday Talk Show. Yes, Friday, January 24th was International Day for Education. Yes. Friday, just this Friday past, January 24th was International Day for Education. And the theme for 2025 theme is AI and Education, preserving human beings in an automated world. The theme for this International Day for Education 2025 is AI and Education, preserving human beings in an automated world. All right, so if that is the theme, what about our own topic? Our topic is, what is the state of education and skills in Nigeria? Yes, this is because this year's theme challenges us to have a rethink. The theme AI, where is the theme again? The theme AI and education is challenging each and every one of us, both educators, government, teachers, parents, and also students, to have a rethink of how technology empowers rather than replaces human in education. I repeat, we all should start thinking now that technology has come to stay, and we shouldn't think it's coming to take over teaching. Rather, it's coming to it's not coming to replace, but it's coming to a kind of empower educators in order to facilitate, ensure speedy delivery of lectures or teachings to the students. And with me tonight is our one and only professor of IOM. Where is Dr. Temitope? With me tonight is IOM Professor Temitope. Show your face, Professor. Yeah, he's going to come, and I remain your one and only host, Nurse Angel. Before we start, I hope Dr. Temitope is coming to join us. We are going to have a family engagement time. I will be reading a lot of your comments, a lot, and we want to engage you. Before we start, I want to say, family members, in terms of International Day for Education, the issue with Nigeria is beyond AI. The issue with Nigeria is beyond AI. Nigeria's education system lacks a lot of things before we start talking about AI and education. For us in Nigeria, we are still struggling and battling with access to skills needed for development in education. I repeat, for us in Nigeria, we are still battling with access to skills needed to develop for development. Also, in Nigeria, we are still battling with free and quality. I repeat, we are still battling with free and quality basic education for all. In Nigeria, AI is far away from our issues. We have not gotten the basics yet. Another issue we are facing in Nigeria is equal opportunity to education for our disabled people and also for girls as well. But most especially for the disabled. No one is talking about those that have disabilities. The issue with Nigerian education system is beyond the AI. Yes, I'm saying that. We have basic things like access to skills, free and quality education for everyone. We have issues about equal opportunity to education for our disabled ones, as well as girls, mostly the disabled. We also have issues in our education system that has to do with relevance and effectiveness of Nigerian education. You say, what does that mean? Yes, relevance and effectiveness of Nigerian education. What does that mean? That means our education system at graduation, do we utilize it in the outside the school? Is the education curriculum fashioned in such a way it develops skills for the students? So therefore, when I graduate with my certificate, can I use it and become relevant in the society? If I studied, for instance, computer science, how am I sure that I'm able to use computer, IT, and coding and others? Some students have not even seen computer, and yet they are computer science students. What about medical doctors? What about engineers? What is wrong with our education system is far beyond AI. So, as you can see on the screen, our one and only professor of education, IOM Professor Temitope, is here. Can you please welcome him? Welcome him. Professor Temitope, please say hello to the family members.
In our mind, always in my mind, my destiny is in my hand.
Absolutely.
And yes, Happy New Year and bright year for everyone, beautiful year for everyone. We cannot thank Nurse Angel enough. Nurse Angel, you made our life better last year, and starting with you this year, we have this great belief in our hearts. We're going to achieve unnumbered success this year by the power of God. We believe in you, Nurse Angel, and we're sure you're going to carry us through, and you're going to indeed enlighten us more, brighten our sense of orientation, and take us to a better height this year. Once again, good evening, everyone in Africa, beyond Africa, in Asia, in Europe, anywhere you have access to listen to us tonight, you rest assured that the quality of the knowledge you will gain will be such that it's a competitive one and of standard. To those of us in Nigeria, it's a pleasure all over the states of Nigeria. We have 36 states in Nigeria and the federal capital. This is a place to be tonight. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
And I am so happy, Professor Temitope, to inform you that last week, when you sent us a message about your mom going beyond, we announced it to the family and they sympathized. They sent their condolence. Every family member sent their condolence to you, to us, because your mom is our mom. So I want to just inform you and remind them that even as much as Professor Temitope is mourning his mom that just passed away, he loves us so much that he said he cannot afford not to be here. So thank you, Professor. And once again, please accept our well wishes. Yeah, it's a celebration of life mostly, and also honoring her in her late days. All right. Thank you. Also, with me on the screen is our family members. So some of our family members are also here. The teachers, Jane Ike is here, Faith Yusi is here, Nelly is here, and we are hoping for Fabumi to join. They are teachers in both secondary and primary school, while we have our professor on the stage. Thank you guys for joining in. All right, so Professor, you heard what I said about AI and BI. I said AI is far beyond the issue with Nigeria. But before we start, Professor, this will be just an hour program. We want our programs to be just 1 hour. I want to engage quickly with the family members. So family members, I want to ask you, fams, is basic education free in Nigeria? Family members, do we have free basic education in Nigeria? Fams, look at the screen. The question now is to engage with you first, because you're most important before any other person will speak. Is basic education free in Nigeria? The firm said no. Okay, Modupe said welcome. All right, Chris said no. Okay. Oh, that is strange. And they said education is free for all, at least in the basic stage. And second question, family member, do female and disabled, let me add disabled, please, because it's the most important. So the question, fam, is, do disabled and female have equal access to education in Nigeria? Not in some parts, I mean in the whole, including the northern part of Nigeria. Do our disabled people have equal access to education in Nigeria? Family members, Difem said capital no. Modupe said no. Fabumi said no. Bernard said yes, ma. Okay. It is not free. Tochukwu said no. Okay. So the question for number 2 is, number 2 question was, do disabled and female in certain areas have equal access to education in Nigeria? Some said, one said yes, a lot said capital no. Then the next question is, are teachers, family members, a lot has, Professor is laughing. The question now is, are teachers paid well and on time in Nigeria? Oh, Professor, why are you laughing? Do you want to answer that? Let's hear from family members. Ellen Chuku said, not at all. Khadija, whom herself is a teacher, said, no. Adi said, yes. Teachers are paid on time and well. Okay. Baba Lola said, yes. Okay. Ooh. So I want to repeat the question again. The question is, are teachers paid well and on time in Nigeria? I see your question, your answers. Ellen Chuku said no. Fabumi, whom herself is a teacher, said not at all. Oluwa Oloru Soba said yes. Okay. And Tochukwu said not at all. All right. So the next question is, are Nigerian schools of good standard? Is our education system of good standard? I didn't say high, I said good enough standard. So the next question is our Nigerian education system of a good standard? Will you say, Nigerian schools are of good standard? Of course, yes. Generally speaking, Oni said no. Tong Sami said no, and Tochukwu said no, and Khadija says some schools pay well and on time, but most schools don't pay on time. I'm talking about generally speaking. Thank you for explaining. And the last question before we go straight is, do teachers still punish pupils or students because of school fees? So do teachers still punish students or pupils because of school fees? Do teachers punish students or pupil? Do teachers punish students if they don't pay school fees? The next question is, do teachers punish students if they don't pay school fees? Defense said yes. Durin said yes, they do. Ayo Lua said yes, they do. Otabe said they are sent back home. That's punishment. Yes. And Babalola said yes. On that note, I want to go straight on to Professor Temitope. Professor, I want to ask you straight question. Prof, what will you say is the state? You've read what the family members are saying, and they start the pace for us. But you, Professor, you are a professor in Nigerian institution. What will you say is the state of education and skills? Education and skills in Nigeria. I think the network has seized Prof. I may need to add, yeah, Professor, you can answer.
Yes, once again, in our family talk show, in our mind, always in my mind, my destiny is in my head. If you permit me, very briefly, I want to place on record two things. Number one, I am an educationist, certified, certificated, qualified, trained, and permitted by law to be a teacher. I'm a teacher to the highest level, a PhD holder in education. So it's a privilege to be here, and I also teach. And
oh dear me, his network is bad. I think I may add him. I will send you, oh dear me. Let me, I don't know why his network is bad. Let me see if I can look for him. Dr. Temi, yeah. Let me add him to the WhatsApp. All right. While we wait for Dr. Temitope's network, we should have a topic on Nigerian network. Okay, Dr. Temitope, do you want me to add you to the WhatsApp call?
okay, I actually did not know what really happened to the network.
Okay.
I'm sorry, let me just very briefly respond. Yes, please, education is the quality and the quantity of knowledge you acquire with time that transforms your behavior positively. So any form of knowledge you acquire this system. What is it? What will you say is the state? Please.
His enemy is sick. His enemy is sick. So while we wait for Professor Temitope IOM professor. I would like, sorry for muting you guys. While we wait for IOM professor, I would like to quickly ask one of um, our family members the same question I asked professor. So I can ask Fabumi. Fabumi, Nelly, you're here as well. I can see you. So Fabumi, what will you say, Fabumi, is the state of, because you, okay, professor is here.
Over.
Yes, continue, Prof.
Okay, very briefly, please. In education, we're always very objective. The quality of education, the standard of education, the state of education in Nigeria is falling far below standard. Now we should be able to give reasons for that.
Yes.
That is what makes our answer of importance. One, the UNICEF, all right, recommends that each nation in the world, each country should give not less than 25% to education. In 2025, the budget for education is 77% of the national budget. All right. Now, number two, looking at the structures all over Nigeria, none is encouraging. There is no single classroom of any of the public institutions, both at primary, secondary, at the polytechnic or the university, is of international standard. The condition under which we learn is unhealthy. In some schools, in a larger proportion, you find that the structures are dilapidated, the windows are not there, the doors aren't there, it's prone to attack. You find piles of beds around the school. And all of these things really is not enhancing our learning process. So this accounts for reasons we are saying that the state of education in Nigeria is falling, is degenerating. The quality of the teachers in the school is indeed of great concern to everyone. The quality too is falling. In public primary schools, you have teachers who can scarcely speak good English or who can communicate. At secondary school level, same. At the university, the same. You can't deny the fact that if you are a lecturer, one of the prerequisites is your ability to communicate. You must be able to impact knowledge. I think with these very few, we can make progress while other questions are answered by other respondents. Thanks.
Professor, you pointed out a very important thing, because whilst UNICEF have it that one in every five dropouts in the whole world, 1 in 5. If you see 5 children in the whole world, one of them that is not going to school is a Nigerian. And they said we are also 20 million dropouts, which is highest in, I know they will say our population is high, but the percentage is also high. If you are looking at the population of Nigeria, 20 million dropouts. You just said about 7% instead of at least the recommended 25%. And you spoke about the structures, the dilapidated structures. I want you to talk of security as well, because if the structures are so bad, I will say that the security, especially in northern part of Nigeria, where we have, I don't know if they are all back, but we know that a number of them died. Some of them were impregnated. I'm talking about the Chibok girls. It's not a thing of joy. Girls that were sent to school. I see some people talking about equal education for all. And I was saying to them, it's not just in Nigeria, in their area. I'm talking about generally in Nigeria as a whole. I asked if there are equal education to disabled and female. They said yes. Some people said yes. And I don't understand, but from where they are, their perception is yes. But we know not far ago, in Nigeria, some in northern parts, some girls went to school. They went to school, young children, little children went to school. And just as you talked about the lack of security, they were kidnapped. And a number of them did not come back. What do you think is the government's position regarding I know they started with 7%, but what can government do to a kind of bring our school system to a fair standard, Prof?
Thank you very much. In our mind talk show, in our mind, always in my mind, please, that slogan means so much. Think about me, let me think about you. Let's think of how best together, how we can repair the world, Nigeria is specific again, and that our destiny is in our hand. Please contribute the little you can to ensure that you add value to yourself while you're listening. The question again is, looking at the situation in Nigeria, please let me make it clear. UNICEF said 25% minimum of your annual budget should be allocated to education. No nation can grow beyond the level of its education. And as a nation, Nigeria, you gave example of places like Dapchi, places like the Chibok. These are names of cities or community or a local government in the north. Nigeria practices, we have 3 tiers of government: the local government, the state government, and the federal government. So these are in the 3rd tiers, in the local government level, in the north of Nigeria. Of course, the geopolitical zones in Nigeria are 6. We have the north central, the northeast, the northwest, the south-south, the southeast, and the southwest. Now, the prevalence of this insecurity is more in the northwest. Today, before that's around from 2020 all to 2024, it's in the northeast. Now the northwest is feeling high impact of this. More schools have been closed previously for beyond a whole session, not just a semester. Now children, the likes of Leah Sharibu, she has been adopted for all this number of years till date. She's yet to come back home. Some of these children were found with unwanted pregnancies. They bear these children to town, and till date they are not back to school. Government paying lip service. The first thing that the government of Nigeria must do is to go back to the Constitution and repeal the Constitution. We don't have a healthy constitution. The chapter 4 and the chapter 2 of the Nigerian constitution are things of interest. The chapter 2 must be made justiciable, the social welfare of the citizens. It is not true to say that Nigeria is poor. We are not poor, but individuals are just siphoning the money for self-interest. There are individuals in Nigeria that are richer than a whole state. And of what importance, of what relevance is those wealth to them? If right in the states where you belong, there is no single road that goes. Look at the former president. I can mention more than 3 former presidents, vice presidents in Nigeria, and even the former presidents of Nigeria. There are still up to date no good motorable roads to their villages. And these are places, there are many localities without school, because there is no road there, and the distance away these children walk to get to school makes it insecure for them. Insecurity is very high in the whole of the geopolitical zones in Nigeria, not only in the north, including the southwest, including the southeast, including the south. Thanks. Let me allow others to speak.
Still with you, sir. Others will speak shortly. Still with you, sir. A family member by name Difem Obarome said that government prefers to send their children abroad. You just said it that Nigeria is not poor. The issue with Nigeria, I don't think it starts with education. Neither do I think it will end with it. I think the corruption in Nigeria knows no bound. I repeat, the corruption by the government in Nigeria knows no bound. Bound. A lot of government ministers, politicians that are in government offices, they have the money to fly their children to abroad and even put them in an international school abroad, meaning they are paying a whole lot of fees for schools. Meanwhile, just like you said, that no public school, you said no. You didn't even say some. You said no. Public school have a good structure, but they have things like wardrobe allowance. They have things like a lot of, you will see government office holder is building empires as in estates here and there. You said they should repeal the constitution. Is it just about repealing the constitution? What about what about holding them accountable? You see, because when you see them sending children abroad, themselves traveling abroad, government officials, their wardrobe allowances and what have you is so high that people see it, yet teachers are not even paid. And an individual will pick back almost 3/4 of the money in government. What do you think we should do to stop this kind of actions, especially since it's not serving the citizenry of which we are the one that voted the government officials in? What do we do, both as individuals, to checkmate the government to do what they're supposed to do, since they have the money to send their children abroad?
Thank you very much. Nurse Angel, in our mind talk show, in our mind, always in my mind. Let me also place on record that honestly, this knowledge is to better help Nigerians and Africans to appreciate the value of what we have. On the average, an average Nigerian, an average African child is extraordinarily intelligent. Even in all of these bad conditions, we're making progress. But please, let me answer the question. Los Angel, far beyond what words can express, I think I repeat again. Look at what happened in China, where a billionaire is asked to face a death penalty for corruption purposes. I am not a proponent of the capital punishment, but I'm a proponent of those who believe that those who steal public funds should be incarcerated, should be kept, under and behind the bars. Don't kill them, but let them be there and let all that belongs to them be converted to the public use. Their structures, their wealth. The law is the ground norm. That is the only thing that can help a nation like Nigeria. If it is enshrined in the law that you are a corrupt official without an option of fine, you should lose all your property and all of your wealth. These are ways and measures to help correct the misnomers in Nigerian system. You see, even, I'm sorry to say, there is an instance where a lawyer, a barrister at law, Barrister Farati, now and against a very aged legal luminary, Chief Afe Babalola, and today is in the court. His argument that there are judges or members of the bar, including members of the bench, that are or have issues of corruption. They buy judgments in Nigeria. These are what is in the public domain. Yes, we can provide evidences where they are bound. Of course, even within the social media and the national media, it's been established at some times. But please, I want to make this very clear. It is the law first. Let it be written. And the little things we can do is also to think for social re-engineering. You see, our public officers, just like you rightly did say, even when ASU, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, that is the lecturers in the universities, those in the polytechnics, ASU, those in the colleges of education, the lecturers, even the teachers in the primary schools and teachers in the secondary schools went on strike. Some of these politicians still travel out and to celebrate the graduations of their children in foreign universities. If it is enshrined in the law, if a public servant, your children should attend public primary schools, public secondary schools, public tertiary institutions. These are measures that the law should address. It becomes an offense, a criminal offense, not a civil case. If your child attends a private school, talk less of carrying them abroad. That is social justice. That is social justice. Let the children of the poor and the children of the rich attend the same class. If we all access the same public primary schools and secondary and tertiary institutions, Nigeria will be better. The educational system will improve. Our health system will improve. Each of the subsystems of Nigeria will be better. It's because they have the alternatives, because they have the fund. But again, I repeat, let me say it clear. I repeat, there is no single public primary or secondary or university or polytechnic or college of education that is of standard in Nigeria. You still go to schools, including universities. Go and check the seating arrangements. Or apart from overpopulation in the classroom, the seating arrangement is so bad. No single, the ventilation is bad, the lighting is bad, the hostels, the toiletries, so many, unnumbered. Honestly, the educational system in Nigeria is a serious place to be to be discussed. But beyond the discussion, I want to place this on record. Nigerians are doing the best they can. Still in this condition, we are going to school. I have once argued at a point, an average Nigerian is intelligent. I can use myself, for example. I do say it, and I'm proud to say this. Bring the best of the brains from any part of the world. I will compete with them favorably and equitably. I'm very proud. Nigerians, we are doing the best we can. But again, our leaders are a minus to our generation. Thank you, please. I need to allow others to speak.
It's just a follow-up question. The next person I will ask is Fabumi, but a follow-up to what you said.
Hello, Nosenja?
Sorry, I'm muted. It's just a follow-up to what you said. I will ask Fabumi the next, but let me follow up because you talked about enshrining in the Constitution that all government officials must go to public schools. I know you know that here in UK, the monarchy, the kings and queens of the British monarch, their children go to public schools. That is why public schools are very well, very good, of great standard. However, Professor IOM Professor Temitope, I beg to differ, not to add it in the Constitution. I agree with you because here that is practice, we can see the changes. But my question to you, Professor, is of what use? I repeat, of what use is it to enshrine or have it in the Constitution that the government office holders should go to public school. A lot of the constitution requirements, laws have been defaulted a billion times and going on. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Government officials, they make constitution for you and me. They don't follow it. So my question again is, how can we hold them accountable? Because I want to repeat, all the rules in the constitution, they defile it. You will see somebody like Wike will be talking to people, slapping them, committing battery and insulting people, telling them, seizing their properties. Is in the constitution that you shouldn't do that. Nothing happens to him. So what are you saying that they should keep on adding to constitution that is not upheld? Is that what you're saying? My question is, the existing one is not followed. How can we hold them accountable to follow the laws? Even if our laws are that, it's not even bad, it's good enough, although it needs updating. But the one that is written is not even followed. So what do you have to say about it?
Thank you very much, Nurse Angel. To our IOM family, in our mind, always in my mind, that tells of the quality of the thought that actually goes through the heart of Nurse Angel. You see, education is the heart of a nation. She thinks so much about everyone listening. Now, in answering that question again, now this is my view. Again, we appreciate democracy. Democracy is achieving great things, better than the military. We are making progress. I repeat again, you see, the Constitution, again, is actually the first area or arena that I still believe that should be addressed. But far beyond that, what else can we do that we can hold our leaders accountable is to go back to our cultural values. Let's teach our children not to steal. Let's teach our children, both at home, using all agents of socialization, the family, the society, the religious home, the media. Let's teach them good values. Today, Nurse Angel, it is disheartening that a larger proportion of our youths, yes, they are unemployed. Yes, they are not having the best of what they should have, but they're already turning into crime. They are turning into crime. And it's because the government is not responsible. Let me use the word again, and I can operationalize that word, responsible or responsibility. When you refuse to be accountable justly for public funds kept in your own purview, in your own custody, you are not responsible. Your inability to do things right. Now, we should teach our children, our youths, value. There is no justification to go into crime. And number two, beyond teaching and upholding good moral values, we should also encourage our youths and the children, the leaders of tomorrow, to live a life of example. Parents, live an exemplary life, encourage them to do same. By inference, our tomorrow will be better than today. But today, honestly, our leaders have failed us. An individual gave an example of a failed state, and all of the futures outlined best describes Nigeria. I repeat again, I believe in Nigeria, and I was given an instance. I've had opportunities to consider, right? What if the alternative abounds or comes? While you should seek for greener pastures outside, I would rather stay to develop my country. And I'm doing the little I can, and I'm begging everybody to continue to do the same. And exactly what Nurse Angel is doing, we are building our nation, Nigeria. If you give knowledge, you are building Nigeria. Please, I want to plead with us. Let's keep doing the best that we can. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you. And I want to come to our IOM family member, sweetheart, Fabumi Yinka. Fabumi, a family member, when we are talking about corruption in the system, Oni Anthony said that it's not only in government, corruption is everywhere in Nigeria, even at home and religious places. And on that note, Fabumi, I want to say that our religious leaders are not even doing us any good. I see some people saying, God should help us, God should touch their heart. Our religious leaders will build schools. How do they build the schools? The congregation, the people in the church, their church attendants, we contribute money and donate to the pastors or religious leaders. And they will build a school, mansion, have all the equipment because it is donation by the public congregation. And they build expensive schools with good equipment and what have you. Afterwards, they will not even allow the poor people that contributed their transport money for their children of the church, the church congregation, their children from poor family cannot attend that school. Yet, they contributed to build the school. Fabumi, the issue about poor infrastructure and lack of government doing anything is what Professor Temitope has addressed. My question to you now is, what do you think our religious leaders can do to help, at least for those schools that has been built by congregation, for them to attend it? And also, Fabumi, as a teacher, what do you have to say about the state of schools in Nigeria? Fabumi, you're muted in case you're talking. Hello, Fabumi, are you there?
Hello, ma.
Yes.
Hello, ma.
Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon, family member. Good afternoon, Angel. Mr. Dr. Temitope, good afternoon. In our mind is always in my mind, and my destiny is in my hands. Dr. Temitope have nailed it all. The level of education in Nigeria is not welcoming. It's even frustrating. It's depreciating every now and then. Hello, ma.
Yes, we can hear you. Continue.
It's depreciating every now and then. Then for the Nigeria religion leaders, they are adding to it as well. Most of these churches and the hello, ma.
Yes.
Most of these religion leaders that built schools,
Yeah.
they're supposed to bring down the school fee so that everybody can be able to go to that school, especially the poor Nigerians. But in this same school, that the school fee will be at high level, in which even the poor Nigeria that contributed to the success of the school won't be able to send their children to that school, and at the end of the day, these children will be loitering around. Hello, ma.
Yes, we can hear you. Just continue talking. If I can't hear you, you will hear me calling.
All right, these children will be loitering about. Then when we talk about the public school in Nigeria, the environment whereby these children are learning is not conducive at all. It's not okay at all. Do you want to talk about the building? Do you want to talk about the classroom? Do you want to talk about the chairs and table there? Is nothing to write about. And if individual that are okay to some extent want to do one thing or the other to these schools, the politician will come up by saying they are going to do it. Maybe they want to use it to campaign. And all this attitude is not helping the education in Nigeria, because everything in Nigeria is politics. Even ordinary road, if they want to construct a road, a bad road, the politician will say, don't do it oh, they are going to do it. And the next 2-3 years they won't, because they want to use it to campaign. And all these things is not helping the education at all. And I believe it's only God that can touch the heart of our leaders, because everybody they are after their pocket, because their own children they are not in Nigeria, they are somewhere else out of Nigeria enjoying their lives with our money, with Nigerian money. So Nigeria education this time around is depreciating, and I believe it's only God that can help us with that. Let me stop here, ma.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I say thank you. You can mute. I would like to ask Zitis Nelly. Zitis, I know you're a teacher as well, and you are female. Why am I saying that? I know that the disabled, less privileged, including with girls in some areas, are not allowed to go to school. Even when they are allowed to go to school, you will see some parents start to marry off their girl child to at young age. So their school education is cut off. And Zitis, we know that education empowers. It empowers, it gets you to be informed, it gets you to have self-esteem, it enables you to have opportunity to work, and also to be financially independent if you're able to use your education. But when it's being cut short for the disabled or girl children or people that don't have the means, that cannot afford it, what do you have to say, Zitis, regarding this set of people, the disabled, the girls, the less privileged, that cannot afford to go to school? What will you say to government or the society, traditional leaders or churches? What do you have to say to see how we can encourage, or what support do you think government in particular can give to them to enable them to have equal access to education?
Good evening, my friend.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, family, and good evening, Dr. Temitope, and good evening, Fabumi Yinka. Dr. Temitope and Fabumi Yinka, they have said it all. To me, the education in Nigeria is very, very bad. It is not encouraging at all. If you visit few public schools in Nigeria, those schools are not well equipped. They are not well equipped. No chairs, no desks for students and pupils to sit and write when receiving lectures. The schools are not conducive for students to assimilate what teachers teach them. There are many schools that have holes on their school buildings and on their roof as well. And holes on their roof. In the sense that when rainfall flooded with rains, and on that day, no lecture will hold on that day.
Wow.
So we are begging.
Continue. Oh, her network. Okay, Dr. Temitope, do you want to come in? Her network is bad. It's beeping. Do you want to come in regarding the...
Am I hearing me, ma?
Okay, you're back. Yes, continue. Yeah.
As I was saying, I said that there are many schools that have holes on their buildings, on their school buildings, and on their roof as well. I said that in the sense that when rain falls, the classes will be flooded with rains, and lecture will not hold on that day. Are you hearing me, ma?
Yes, I am. Wow.
Even the school amenities provided by the government asked the leaders to share it among the students. They sit on it, they won't distribute, they use it for their families, which is not supposed to. It is not supposed to be. They will sit on it, they won't distribute the school amenities for students to gain. So this government, we have to beg the government to take a proper action on this education stuff. Even there are schools, public schools, that they have, how will I put it? Many public schools in Nigeria, there are many students, there are many pupils that they could not avoid even to eat, even the money to go to school, even they couldn't avoid even the book to write, pen to write. But government provide all these things for the students. But these our leaders just sit on it without even thinking twice. So I think that our leaders and those bishops and those churches, they should find solution to it by, maybe by raising amount of money for the less privileged, for the disabled, so that they will be able to have a good future.
All right.
That's what I think.
That's very good. Thank you very much for your own contribution, Zetis Mary. Thank you. And Jane Ike, I see you at the backstage. I can ask you quickly. Jane Ike, skills acquisition. You can mute Zetis. Skills acquisition is a very important criteria for education, because education is not just about reading and writing. It's about equipping us with the right skills to be able to go out there and be relevant. Jane Ike, you are a teacher. Can I ask you yourself, can you tell the family what teacher are you, secondary, primary, or university? And also, do you think that in your school as a teacher, are you equipping the students or pupil with the right skills required to be able to be productive in the society?
Good evening, attendants. Good evening, sir. Good evening, family members. I am Jane Ike. Yes, of course, we do our best in order to end. Can you hear me?
Yes, continue.
We do our best in order to empower the children by building their minds, building them so that they can be able to face the society. We teach morally, we teach them practically, we make them to understand whatever thing they are being taught in school. For instance, if as I take the primary session and also the secondary session, GS1, and I take them creative arts. So based on this, it has to do with so many practicals. If I'm to take them on music, we will like do some practicals on it, teaching them different notes. And
Can I ask you on that note, do you have the proper complete equipment to be able to support the students? Do you think you have?
not at
Continue.
Not at all, not at all, not at all. Even I had to go to the market. I bought myself small piano that I'm using.
So you see where the question is coming from. We are not saying that you are a bad teacher. We are talking about the right skills. And I gave an instance with somebody that would study computer science. No matter how wonderfully well they are taught, some of them will not even see computer, not to become a computer engineer, as well as our engineers. So that's what I'm trying to say, Jane Ike. Do you think, okay, that the schools are equipped with the right equipment for teachers to utilize to train the children on the relevant skills?
Not at all. The school is not equipped. But as we teachers, what we do is that when we are teaching, if we come to that aspect, we try to like do something to make the children to understand that this is what we are talking about. Like if you're taking instance, you're teaching computer and you want the children to know what is computer, certainly we'll have a computer room. I'll just take all of them to the computer room. Not that the computer there is enough, but I will show them what I'm trying to let them know. What the school needs is not properly given to us. We are just managing ourselves in order to make the children to understand whatever thing they are being taught in class.
Thank you. Dr. Temitope, again on skills acquisition, you defined education, knowledge gaining. And I heard you, Dr. Temitope, talking about the fact that Nigerians are smart, which is true, and that you can challenge anybody anywhere in the world. And I agree. This is because you are doing more of personal development in terms of self-learning, if you ask me. Because if you are to follow what was on ground, in many areas, in many endeavors, you will find out that, the art teacher said, that they don't have equipment for art, but she will use her own money to go and buy a small piano. And meanwhile, maybe what you need to know regarding piano requires something great. So my question now to you is, what can be done? Do you think, first of all, that schools are equipped with the right technologies? Because this year's theme is AI, AI and education. Wonderful. This is something like here in UK or America or Western worlds. AI has taken over. Even in operation, we have robotics. Robotics doing surgery. I have colleagues that have done surgery. They use robotics to do their surgery, AI, which is not replacing the doctor, but it's enhancing, because robot will go straight to the point and bring it out instead of long, previously, if you want to do surgery, if this is the stomach, you will cut from beginning to the end. But with AI, they just create a little hole for the machine to go in, and pim, makes the work faster and easier. So again, my question, Dr. Temitope, is, do you think that Nigerian schools, no matter how smart we are, have the right equipment, just like the theme for this year, 2025? In 5 years' time, the world will be consumed with AI. Do you think Nigeria is there yet? If not, what do you think we need to do to get close to the door, even if we are not there yet? Dr. Temitope.
Thank you very much, Ms. Angel, to all our resource persons in the house tonight. Again, thank you, our sponsor. Let me just say it this way. in our mind, always in my mind, my destiny is in my hand. Now, again, I remember you were initially going to talk about our curriculum system too, where we talk about the child-centered learning.
Yeah. So learning style rather than teaching style. Yeah.
Yes. So we also talk about instructional materials. Again, yes, there is a concept of improvisation, but again, if you look at the instructional materials, we are what to call the radials and the models. The radials are the real materials you need to teach, the real objects that you're teaching. But in the instance where they are not there, you can use alternatives to them, which is the models. And in the instance where the radial is not there, the model is not there, as a classroom teacher, you are allowed to improvise. That is the concept of improvisation. But let's come back again to the real question. Do Nigerians or do Nigeria really have the required resource materials, the resource, the skills? Yeah, the skills and the materials. These are two different things, because again, some of our teachers these days, we can't deny the fact that we're becoming substandard because the skills are not there. So you're talking about skilled manpower to not there.
Yes.
Yeah, so in the instance where you also have the materials, you have the resource persons who are skilled to manage those materials. Again, in terms of materials, we're far behind. With the issue of AI in Nigeria, yes, we're far behind because we're talking about artificial intelligence. Let me give us a short illustrations. In the 90s, with specific reference to 92, 93, 94, I was a student in University of Lagos, Unilag, doing computer science. And as at then, in the whole of Nigeria, we do not have a window-based system. We're only using what we refer to as DOS-based environment. So we're taught using command modes. But let's go back to reality. In today again, I'm just giving an instance. As at then, we're years behind when it comes to computer. Today, now we're talking about intelligence. We're not even at any point on the historic part. So what we need to do now is to
Oh dear. I think
rejecting the budgeting system in Nigeria. We need to encourage the government to increase the educational budget. One of the things government do in Nigeria is to tell lies. You want to tell the world you are budgeting, let's say, for instance, 30 or let's say 80 billion to education, 200 billion to education. That billions you are mentioning, it covers from all public primary schools, public secondary schools, and public tertiary institutions. Do you know that the budget of Harvard University, the budget of Cambridge University, the budget of Oxford University, and some of these global international universities is more than the budget of Nigeria as a whole? So we need to get things right. We need to increase the budget allocation to education if we must even get closer to the doorstep of AI, because beyond having the materials, you must train the personnel to be skilled. You must have skilled resource persons, and far beyond that, you need the infrastructure too. Beyond security, you need good structures to house these materials and electricity. Look at in 2024, the national grid, collapsed more than 5-7 times. That is a national shame. Please, I'm saying it this way, not to in any way derogatory or bring down my nation, Nigeria. No, we're only giving an objective view, a rational opinion. These are the things we must tell ourselves if Nigeria must advance. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Khadija, I will ask you the last question before we look for the final solution. So, Khadija Mohammed, yourself, you're a teacher and you're a Muslim. We've been talking about Chibok girls that were kidnapped when they went to school, because we know some areas in the northern part, they do not believe that girls in particular should go to school. I know for me, I would say that the disabled are the most affected. In the southern areas, we think that girls have almost 30 to 40% leeway with boys, but in the north, it is far worse. That is, of course. So my question to you, Khadija, is this. For those people that believe that girls should be married off early, and therefore they don't send their girl children to school, or even if they are in school, they marry them off early. Immediately they think they've attained puberty, even if they are 9, 10, 11, marry them off and shorten their means of gaining education and standing a chance for to be independent. What do you think, and what will you say can be done to see how that can be they can be sensitized to stop it? What do you think? Is it a thing of religion? Is it a thing of culture? What is it that is actually happening that make people go to school where girls are schooling, kidnap them, rape them, impregnate them, and in some cases kill them, believing they are not supposed to go to school? Khadija.
Good evening, Osangel. Good evening, Dr. Temitope. In our mind is always in my mind, and my destiny is in my hands. From your question, we have this mentality of girl child going to school have nothing to offer. That is one thing that a lot of parents have, this mentality. So if you cannot stand for your girl child as a parent to send her to school, how do you expect people to accept you in the society where you send your girl child to school and then they will not end up kidnapping her, raping her, and if care is not taken, killing her as well? Because from this northern part of Nigeria, they don't believe in education. Especially when you have a neighbor that has this large portion of land, and that person is willing to give you almost half of it. Don't forget, not giving you for free, giving you at a rent, and then when you cannot pay for it at the end of the day, you use your girl child as a collateral, all in the name of we have nothing to offer to me, because we have this issue of women education and in kitchen. Meanwhile, a girl child is a person that will stand by you throughout your whole life. When you are alive, she is there. Even when she's married, she is there. If you educate a girl child, one girl child, it's like you educate the whole world. So when a parent, especially this our father, mothers have this mentality of the father is the head of the family. Anything he said stands. You'll be scared of wanting to fight for your child, especially the girl child, to go to school because you'll be afraid of divorce. That is Islamically, we have something that if a girl is in your house, this is Islamically. If a girl child is in your house and then she observes her first menstruation in your house, the second menstruation should be done in her husband's house, even at the age of getting married.
That is Islamically for you. So this thing has been on the northern people's mind, that sending a child to school is like a waste of money. And at the end of the day, even the boy child too is not being sent to school. So all these people that do this kidnapping and all those things is illiteracy, because they have this mentality of going to school, have nothing to offer, especially when the government are not even helping the matters. You asked us to go to school, we went to school, we are educated, some even graduated with a 2-1, first class, we have first class, we have second class, upper, second class, lower. And at the end of the day, you cannot get a tangible job. Please, how are you going to survive? How do you expect the youth to survive when you did not provide an employment? When a youth did not even go out there to learn a skill from the onset, when he was going to school, you learn a skill, you end up not learning a skill, you are expecting a white collar job from where? So there is no how a friend will have to invite you to come for 1 or 2 things. When you run it and you see that you have 5 naira, 10 naira from it, you want to go and do it more. So even if they ask you to go out there to kidnap somebody or to kill somebody, you will gladly do it because it's bringing out money. I don't know whether you understand. So education in the northern part is not even important. The only thing we can do to reduce this, if not completely stop it, is go out. We should have an outreach, especially into this rural area. All this rural area, all this bush, all these local places. Go out there, sensitize them. Go out there for outreach, sensitize them, educate them. Don't be surprised. A lot of people will want to key into what you are saying, and they want to display it. You understand? When you give them the reason why your girl child should go to school, they want to even sell their last rubber that they have in the house to send that child to school. If with the approval of the husband, that's what they will tell you. But if a woman stands on her feet that whether my husband likes it or not, my child must go to school, man, in Nigeria we have now to be a better place. Because when you can decide that no matter what, even if I'm not educated, if I have like 5 children, from that my 5 children, at least 2 should be educated is enough for me. So I think from outreaches, if you can go to outreaches to this rural area, sensitize them, give them a fee, engage them, always come back to check up on them. You understand? If possible, you can decide to give scholarship. So I think with these little things that you decide to do for them, they want to send the children to school, and they'll protect those children with their life. They'll protect them with their life. Nothing will come to no harm will come to them. I think I will have to stop here. Thank you.
Just a follow-up to what you said. I'm looking at time now. The education, you said something about in the Quran, where first menstruation at home, second menstruation in the house. You know, Quran and the Bible were written thousands of years ago. And if you read the history at the time, you will see that men lived so long that we have Methuselah, all those people that they say lived hundreds of years, hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't know, even Jesus, I think when he was 30, if I can remember, I'm talking about Bible, but if you look at history, you will see that things that were happening olden days with development technology, people are developing fast these days. And fast development means a girl can see her menses. A lot of girls, we have a good number of them, that see their menses at 9 years old. And following religion, the second menses should be in her husband's house. 9 years old baby. My question now is, I hear you talk a lot of sweet talks, sensitization, getting approval from husband, scholarship, and I'm wondering, a religion, which in some cases, you see the whole wars on earth, check the wars, religion is an undertone. It brings about wars, fighting, battles. A lot of wars are tied to religion. And you're talking about sensitization. When the religion they hold to heart says second menstruation in a husband's house, and a child, a baby of 9 years, finds herself in a husband's house. Khadija, do you think that the religious doctrines needs to be looked into with development that is currently at stake? Because when this Quran and Bible, our religious books were written, there was no technology, no AI, no school per se. There used to be forests, no development was not like it is right now. No planes. There was no plane in the Quran, no plane. So, do you think it's high time people are now to be, like you said, taught to look into the religious doctrines and see whether they need updating? Because there is nothing, they say change is paramount. The only thing that does not change is change. Change is paramount. Everything, including human beings. After all, they say there used to be a time we are ape, we are this, we are that. Now look at us. Next, you're talking about AI. I can say, AI, do this surgery. AI is performing surgery. Clean my house. This is something that was never heard before. So listening to you, I'm worried because the advice you gave, I'm wondering how possible it is. Is it? Looking into the fact that the book we hold at heart, the book we hold dear to our heart, says when a child, a baby, sees a message, which is at the time of old, which they are still bringing today with the changes. Do you think those books needs to be revisited, Khadija?
For the books, I think, I hope and I pray if they can be revisited, because a lot of things, when you read those books, you feel like, are we being enslaved? You understand? But
Of course.
it's religion. Let me not go against what the religion said, but I pray, I really want it, if those books can be revisited. They have to be revisited, because it's really the I don't even know the word I can use. The content in those books are, they are like oppressing, like an oppression.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised, Khadija? Because at the time it was written, as I said, it was olden days. Remember, it was survival of the fittest. I repeat, it was survival of the fittest. Therefore, there is no technology. Now, it's not survival of muscles. Nobody is looking at your muzzle. If you have muzzle, a child can say, take your muzzle and go and stand at my gate and look after me and be my security person with muzzle. But then it was more of muzzles because there was no equipment like guns and what have you. So my question is, I know you're worried. You're worried about what to say, but do you think that it has to be really, really revisited? Because things like taking permission, if you say the slavery is oppressing, and if you look at those times, only men are allowed to go to school. There is no school even, there was no school, but men are hunters and all those stuff. But right now, People are not even hunting per se. Everybody wants to use the the phones, the AIs, the computers. I think if you ask me, the religious book served its purpose. Right now, it's more about humanity than books. No matter how wonderfully written at the time, thousands of years ago, I will allow Dr. Temitope to close up on this, Doctor, because I know Khadija, you are stammering, and I understand. Dr. Temitope, what do you have to say?
Yes, if I may ask first, please can you recall the question again on the religious perspective?
No, we are talking about the fact that girls, disabled, certain sectors of people are not allowed to go to school. And Khadija talked about first menstruation in your mother's house, second menstruation in your husband's house. So my question now is, do you think that the religious books need to be updated in terms of looking at the current standard in the society? For me, I'm proposing that it has to do more with humanity than just religion. What do you have to say in terms of education for all? Dr. Temitope.
Yes, and thank you very much, Nurse Angel. And in our mind, always in my mind, in our mind, always in my mind, and my destiny is in my head. Having listened to Madam Khadija, again, the issues of religion, let's be honest, I've always argued that man is a product of his culture and his religion. That one is an issue or a topic for another day. But again, from the point of enrollment, retention, and completion, ERC, enrollment, retention, and completion. Now, yes, we have religious books, religious practices, religious beliefs, and these are sensitive areas. But I repeat that at no point should humanity be at the mercy of religion. I'm a proponent of those who believes that you must extricate religion from the secular world if the society was developed. Look at Saudi Arabia. Look at nations that have developed today. In Europe, in Africa, religion is an individualized issue.
Correct.
In other words, we must make it clear. You see, it is, if you permit me, premise on the works of Plato and premise on the works of Karl Marx, when he said, specifically of Karl Marx now, that religion is an opium for the masses.
Correct.
We use religion as a tool for delusion. What in medicine you call a delirium. That's what opium is. Okay? So to me, let's understand. Religion is good, culture is good, but we must develop. We must make progress. We must better our lives. So to me, the issue of, okay, you see, let me be very clear. Religion is a sensitive matter, but we must tell ourselves the truth. Do not allow religion to enslave you to the point where you are so subjective that you are no longer an objective or a rational being. No, religion does not make us poor or should not make us poor intellectually. Let us make progress. Let us advance as a nation. So on the issue of religion, Please, let's look at it this way. We need to enroll more students in the school, girl child and the boy child. If we enroll them, we must ensure that we retain them as they progress from one class to the other, down to the point of completion. We should have great number of students who are girls graduating from schools. Look at what happened in the Nigerian University, having a great number of female students graduating from a single department in their numbers with first class. Excellent. University of Lagos is there. And then let's look at the fact that, again, APO, there must be equal access for the boys and the girls. That is where gender mainstreaming comes in. Equal participation and equal opportunities, APO, for both the boys and the girl child. Please let me stop there to allow others to contribute. Thank you, ma'am.
I am looking at time. I see Chintok, you are at the backstage. So we can ask you one quite quick question, then we close. Chintok, what do you think? Number one, I want to repeat, family members, the International Day of Education was on Friday, last Friday, 24th. The team, these international people no say Africa Day. These international people no say Africa Day. The team is AI and education. But here in IOM, we say nahi, nahi. The team cannot be AI and education because Nigeria is far from it. Yes, it's a global world. We have scattered number of people that have the access. But generally speaking, our issue is the state of education and skills in Nigeria. That is what we are looking at. And Chintok, I want to ask you a question. You or anyone around you can answer it. Do you think, or what do you think should be the state of education and skills in Nigeria, and how do we go about it before we start talking about AI and BI and CI? Thank you. Chintok. Chintok, you're muted in case you're talking quickly. All right, so if I don't hear from Chintok, I will close because of time. Maybe he just, he's not hearing me. I will say that family, I don't think that AI is coming, looking at the team to take over or replace human in education. No, I think AI empowers people to do it relieves teachers to get the jobs well done. And I want to remind us that the issue with Nigerian education is not just computer and what have you. It is a lot worse. It is a whole lot. I will just grade it under 4 umbrellas. The first thing I would say is access. Nigerian education, access to skills. Skills can be manpower skills or technical skills, just like Dr. Temitope said. One issue with Nigerian education is access to skills. Access to skills could be access to skills for the teachers and access to skills for materials. Able to have materials to teach us the skills required to be able to go out there in the world to be productive with our certificate. This is because a whole lot of Nigerian graduates, graduate first degree, second degree, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10 inside the box. Wow. The education system and the work environment, I don't know how they tally. I don't know how they are interconnected, because a lot of our graduates graduate without now the certificate is not now relevant. It's not relevant to many of the opportunities on grant. The question now is, what are teachers and government doing? Or rather, what are the educators and the government doing to ensure that when you go to school, when we go to school, that our education will provide us with the relevant skills required to go out there and be productive for our economy. Nigerians can say we have professors, doctors, this and that, but the economy is so bad. What is happening? Our graduates don't have jobs. Our school system is so poor. What is it? So the access, which is one of the things I think is an issue to skills and education, is really, really not adequate for the environment and future development of the country. The second issue, I think, is an issue that the International Day for Education should consider, in addition to the current AI that is all over the place, is free and quality. So free, but quality basic education. Quality in the sense that, just like Dr. Temitope said, that most of our teachers ourselves don't have the right, he said they are not of good quality. I heard him say it. So yes, we are looking for free and quality basic education. Free and quality basic education for both students and the teachers that are teaching. Quality education in terms of how are our teachers equipped to teach? It's not just because if we are saying our education system is poor, our education system is poor, is dilapidated, the buildings are open, which is true. And our sweetheart, a teacher at that, Nelly Zite, said, when it rains, there will be no school on that day. What is the government doing? So we are thinking of free and equal education for all, including the teachers that are to deliver the education. Like Dr. Temitope said, they need to be equipped with the knowledge of how to use the equipment, because just like a family member rightly asked, her name is Amma asks, Amma said, I'm yet to understand how this AI thing works, Seth. And it's true. I repeat, Amma, it is true. That is what we are talking about. What quality education are we giving? Are we being provided with the right skills? What knowledge do our teachers have of the skills that others in the Western world have to be able to equate with the knowledge to train the students? How are we being trained? Part of what I say to Dr. Temitope we are going to talk about is the learning skills, learning styles, rather. Some teachers will be teaching the way they know how to. And if we say that our school system is dilapidated, poor, and not of good standard, where is our teachers coming from? Our teachers are coming from dilapidated, poor, and not of good standard schools. So you cannot give what you don't have. We are asking government and ourselves, because like Dr. Temitope keep reiterating our slogan that our destiny is in our hands. Sometimes you need to do more work. In addition, like Jane Ike said, that they don't have the materials. She will go out to the shop. I saw a family member saying that teachers are not charity people. Teachers are not charitable acts, because teachers now use their own money to get equipment to train the students. How much are they being paid? How much are teachers being paid? So the second thing, apart from the access to these right skills, is also free and quality education for all. The number three thing I think is an issue with Nigerian education that we are not yet there, not to talk of AI and BI, is equal opportunity to education for all the less privileged, for the disabled, and for girls in certain areas. Yes, I know some people say, no, girls have equal rights than boys. More girls are graduating than boys in certain areas, not in our counterparts in the north, and certain areas as well in the south and southwest. So I will say we are looking for equal. This is what I think the education system should be looking more at in addition to the AI. So we are looking for equal and equal opportunity for education for our disabled, because we have a lot of disabled people. They are not even considered for anything, not to talk of sending them to school. We have the deaf and dumb. They say, oh, there is deaf and dumb schools. How many deaf and dumb schools do we have in Nigeria? We have the crippled. Oh, there are crippled schools. There are these schools. How many? Compared to the population of the people we have, the disabled, how are they being given equal opportunity to access education, including the less privileged that cannot afford the education, or girls? These are things I think is the things that are more worrisome for Nigerian education, in addition to the AI and BI. The most important, one of the key issues, as the three others, the fourth one is relevance. Relevance and the effectiveness of the Nigerian education system. Here, all we've been talking about is coming in. Quality. What is irrelevant? The students, you go to school, oh, I've graduated, certificate for boss, and unemployment, Jupiter. Everywhere, unemployment. What do we do about it? What do we do about it? So we can say that security issues as well, poor salaries for teachers, we know, inadequate funding by the government, yes, shortage of teachers, yes, or poor quality teachers, yes, church building schools, and yet the students cannot pay, private schools, yet it's only for the rich. And we also are talking about all these issues in Nigerian schools. What do we do about that? Talk is cheap. Action speaks louder than voice. What can we do about that? We've talked about challenging, because it's not just about government should. Of course, government should. But now that government is not doing it, what do we do? What do we do? Because they said education is key to success. Education is key to success. If we say that Nigerian education is poor and dilapidated, are we surprised that Nigeria is poor? Oh, Nigeria, things are hard. Why will things not be hard? Education is the key to success. Education is the key to success. Education is the key to success. Nigeria is poor. Oh my God, things are hard. Oh, you don't understand. They say no job, no this. Of course, are we surprised? Absolutely not. We cannot be surprised, because if you look, even the UNESCO said 1 in every 5 human beings all over the world, in the whole wide world, 1 out of 5 people in the whole world that are dropouts is a Nigerian. We have more than 200 countries on earth. At least 200 and something countries in the whole world. And Nigeria is one of them. We are not the first most populated. India and China first. You are not the second. You're not the third. We have India, China, US, and Russia. Nigeria is not the largest country on earth. Oh, giant of Africa. Giant of Africa. Are you giants of the world? No, we are not. We are 1 in 200 countries. Yet, if you see 5 people that are out of school, 1 is a Nigerian. How come? How come? We say Nigeria is made up of mineral resources. We have gold, we have this, we have oil. Oil. What about the people? Are we enjoying the oil? What is the oil doing? The oil is serving 1 or a handful of people. Like we know, the rich men people in the government that we elected to serve us are squandering all the resources of Nigeria, getting it, giving, and if you talk, they threaten you, they shout at you. Look at common wicked. I keep saying common wicked. They will make laws. Don't criticize the government. Says who? Says who? Wike will be sitting down there and people are worshiping him. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, I see family members. Who is this? I think it's Oni. Oni said it's even been encouraged by populace now, because once someone is either elected or appointed to a position, people start billing them and inviting them to donate on occasions. People sell their birthright. Some people say, is this slavery? I think I saw another comment by, where is it? I saw another comment by a family member saying that this is slavery. This is slavery. And I agree. I agree. Now, what are we going to do about that? Talk is cheap. Action speaks louder than voice. It all lies with us. We are the government. You see Wike, ordinary person, even look at him. How old is he? You can look at him because he is sitting at the hem of affairs. He is not threatening, shouting, talking anyhow. And people are bowing before him, worshiping him like a god. And yet you want him to change? How? How can I change? During colonial days, when the colonial masters had blacks as slaves, or Indians and the people they had as slaves, how can they change? They can't. They had the power because we gave them the power. But when people fought and refused to be enslaved and fought, they changed. But they can't change when you're worshiping them. Oh, king, live forever. We can say you're a fool. Thank you, sir. You are an idiot. Yes, sir. You are hopeless. Of course I am, sir. What do you want? Should I go and kill myself? What? And you say, God will help us. I saw a family member. She said, God passed them. God passed them. It's only God. So another one said, it's only God. Where is it? It's only, look. Clara said, it's only God. Which God? God has created us. God has given us all it takes. It's only us that we follow the commandment God has given to us. God will not touch nobody. They will even come to you with God. The colonial masters, they went to court with the Bible. Colonial masters went to court with the Bible, defending slavery. Which God? God will not touch them. You need to sit up and say, no, enough is enough. It's high time we started, because it's not about, just like our professor say, making rules. We have a lot of rules. Is it being followed? Absolutely not. What are we doing? Absolutely not. Nothing. Nosenja, what are you doing? I am begging you. I'm begging us. It's high time we called a spade a spade. Whomever is not following, we should start speaking out. Even if it's just to speak out, they say, oh, you're not in Nigeria. Okay, you can even create, thank God for AI. This is the importance of AI. Create a dormant account. Use it and start talking, critiquing them. Start exposing them. Start calling them to order. Because it's not about making more laws, which is not bad. It's okay to make laws. But what about the laws that are made? How do we keep it? How do we keep them to account for it? Oh, school building. The school is open. Rain is falling. And these people have jets, fleets of cars. And when we see them, we worship them. Why not we say, enough is enough? Enough is enough. Our religious leaders are not helping matters. They are looking for connection. Like our brother said, they start looking for donations and connections. Our religious leaders that are there for religious work is now worshiping the politicians, calling them, giving them. When they come to church, they keep them in front. You move back, and you are a regular member of the church. Get back, get out of here, just move away. They give them the front seats to sit in. And they tell them, oh, we want you to donate. Like our brother say, donate. Our religious leaders can speak. Even if it's just to speak up, speak out. Hold them account. If you see them in your church, let them not come again. You say, hey, that you can see that they are not these buildings. You have this. Talk to them. Talk to them. Wardrobe allowance. Look at them. Start speaking up. How do you think the slavery was abolished? Do you think that white men woke up and said, oh, God has touched my heart. God touched my heart. No more slaves. Huh? You see, Kenny? No, it's not given. It's not given. God will not. God has created us for us to till the soil, get anything we say it is will be. You're saying God will touch their heart? Ah, that means you're ready to die poor. You're ready to die poor. God has commanded us, created us, given us the hand, the brain. And you're saying, God, come down, touch their hearts? God will harden their heart. God will look at our work and harden their heart. It's not about God. God has given us all the tools we need. It's for us to say and look into inwardly. Are we also perpetrators as well? Are we perpetrators as well? I need to stop. I have to stop here. But speak up, speak out. Create dormant accounts. Start writing. Create pseudo accounts. Start pushing comments, critiquing them up and down. Enough is enough. In our mind is always in my mind. Let us dance, Joe. Let's dance, because I didn't know when it's. I'll cut you off. Please, everyone, come back. Dr. Temitope, come back to the backstage. Everyone, I want to use this to play the last song, please. Thank you. So let us dance and go. We are going to continue to dance IOM song. We'll dance. I want to show you guys family members. You know, with the biggest loser, With the biggest loser, I'm so slim now that my cloth is too big. So I tied my cloth at the back. My cloth that used to tight me is too big now. So I tied it at the back. Let us dance.
Yes, sir. Just icon. We are sir. We are one family, despite the cultural diversity. We strive for the unity, love we stand for all humanity. So we are the IOM, Los Angeles, our CEO. A woman with a golden heart, true definition of God's love. IOM, a new Nigeria, saying no to nepotism. We share all life partners, brothers and sisters, together we stand. IOM, a new Nigeria, we say no to nepotism. We share all life partners, brothers and sisters, united we stand. We are the IOM, one love. We are the IOM. God's love. We are the IOM. God's grace. We are the IOM. We are like you. Always in my mind. And my destiny is in my hand. Right now, true. Always in my mind. And my destiny is in my hand. We are innovating and innovating. All of our programs carry all that you need. Be it social and economic wise, and when you join, you go to say, oh, yeah, hey, yeah, making impact is evidence. Build a leaders of peace, of violence. IOM generation, painting the image of independent nation. Yeah, it's innovate. All of our programs carry all that you need. Be it social and economic, white and when you join, you're gonna see all your hair. Making fun evidence. Leaders of peace, of violence. IOM generation, painting the image of independent nation. We are the IOM family. We are the IOM. We are the IOM family. I am to the we are the IOM family. We are the IOM. We are the IOM family. I am to the we are my country. Always on my and my destiny is in my hand. I right country. Always on my mind and my destiny is in my hand.
All right, so we have finished. I will allow you to say the closing word, then we go. Thank you, sir.
In our mind, always in my mind. My destiny is in my hand. For tonight, the parting word is that in our mind should always be in your mind. This is a new year. As you make progress this year, keep adding value to others' life. Be a plus and not a minus. Be the reason why others should rejoice and be happy. Don't be the cause of their sadness or sorrow. Don't consciously want to hurt anybody. Now, you can do something to improve the educational system. Number one, do not look at the cost of schooling. Get the education, and in doing that, encourage others to get education. That's how to liberate our society. The more informed, the more educated we become, the better we can socially reconstruct our nation and deliver our nation from the hands of those predators who do not seek the betterment of Nigeria. Our destiny is in our hands. Do the best that you can, make good progress. Thank you, Nurse Angel. We sincerely appreciate you.
Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Bye.